right, everybody, welcome to No Tomatoes. This is our podcast where we have Big Gene and myself, and we will have some other special guests, don't you worry.
Oh, yeah.
But hopefully this all goes smoothly and well. But basically, we're just going to take some time, and we have topics with Terri with the Big Gene Show. And this is basically extended topics with Terri. We're just going to talk, and we'll have some different topics. We'll have some different people on. It promises to be fun.
Okay.
So, first topic of the day is baseball.
Baseball.
You mentioned a little bit in the last Big Gene. A lot of times what we're going to do here is this is kind of talking after the Big Gene Show. We can kind of talk about what happened. We mentioned wiffle ball, and you weren't a big advocate of wiffle ball.
No, I'm not.
Do you want to go into that a little deeper? What do you mean by that? I mean, you had mentioned it a little bit. You don't like how it throws and stuff. But do you think that, if you're in the backyard, you don't have your glove, is wiffle ball still okay as like a recreational, or it's just not? Never.
So, if you don't have a baseball and you don't have a glove and you just want somebody to throw around, I think you could use a wiffle ball, but they're just like, I think you should buy a glove because it'll last you for a very long time. And baseballs, they can last you if you don't leave them out in the rain, and if they get waterlogged, they're not very good.
That's valid. So we have a good baseball story for you guys, and this is a classic.
I don't know what this is, but
Ellie knows this one very well.
Oh no, guys!
This is a great story. Not really, but
no, not really.
It is a memory, and it is what comes to my mind when I think of baseball.
No, it doesn't come to my mind. I think of home runs.
He's cranking the home runs. I think of Britton sitting on Ellie's head. We'll go into that.
No, guys.
We will go into that. So there was a kid, we're not going to mention any names, who was on...
He doesn't go to our school anymore.
Okay, there you go. Who was on
His name is...
Britton's baseball team.
Yes.
And...
Minors.
Yes, minor league for baseball. And they were over to the side. This was during a game, but they were batting. So they weren't in the field, and they weren't up. So Britton was over to the side, and I was over there as well. I watched this whole thing happen.
Oh,
and
guys.
There was just a blanket, and Eliana, our first cousin, was doing... she was making bracelets out of, like, the rubber bands. And so she had her little box open.
No.
And Britt's going to take it away from there.
And so the guy, we were talking, he was like running into me, like pushing me back. And so I was going back and back and back. And then I trip and I fall back and I land on Ellie, and Ellie's head goes straight into the box or the plastic thing, and we don't need to go any further with that.
I will take a little more detail here. He seemed to skimp out on the details.
Oh my goodness.
The kid was going like this in his face, like shoving his face backwards. He then tripped and fell backwards. Ellie was sitting there, and he essentially sat on her head, and her head went down and hit the dividers.
No.
Therefore, she cut open the top a little bit under her forehead. There was blood. Stitches later occurred. And she's fine now. But that is a classic story.
Is it, though? Is it really that classic? I mean, it's a story, but it's not really that classic.
I mean, I've never gave anybody stitches, so I think it's pretty classic.
Yeah.
That's what I think of when I think of baseball. But we don't just have baseball coming up. What else do we have? State test. That's not where I was going, but we're going there now. State tests.
Today, I had it.
Oh, boy. Let's hear the report. How'd you do? Failed or what?
I think I did, but, no. I think I did pretty good. There was 26 multiple choice and 2 short answer responses, and then tomorrow is 3 short answers and an essay. So, I think I did pretty good, actually. But... I sat there for 4 hours, and I finished in about an hour and a half. So once I was done, I waited for 3 hours. to go to lunch.
Sounds like a blast. State tests. What a time. That's a good time right there.
Yeah, those are good times.
Where I was going with it was softball.
Softball.
Yes. And we have good softball stories as well. Are there any in particular you'd like to talk about? I mean, I have my favorite, but no softball stories? Watching Dad play?
Oh. So, guys, it was one day in a little town called Lowville.
Yeah.
And we were at a softball game in Croghan.
Wow.
No, New Bremen. It was New Bremen. New Bremen. And he was off to bat. And he's been saying that the batter's box is smaller than it's painted. And for softball, it should be bigger. Because us little leaguers play on it, and it makes it smaller. So when he plays on it, it should be bigger, but it's still smaller.
Right.
So what happened is he went up to bat, and he stepped out of the box, which means you're out. But he argued with the ref because he told him that that's not where the line is supposed to be. And then the ref got up and went, gone! So he kicked him out of the game, and he got out of the game, and I think he came back next game, but he was couldn't play.
Yeah, he got ejected. A little more to the story. He erased the batter's spot. He erased the front line and basically said, well, it might as well not even be there. So, yep, classic story. I believe that's the only time he's ever been ejected from a game.
But, you only get ejected.
You play a lot of softball.
Yeah.
It's bound to happen. I don't know. I probably wouldn't get ejected, but then again, I am competitive, so
yeah.
I guess you never do know. Yeah. Well, that's going to wrap it up. Quick talks. We don't want to hold you up for too long. We will be back. Let us know what you want to hear on the podcast. We are totally open. This is a totally new format, so we're kind of up for anything. Yeah. It doesn't take a lot of work for us to do this, so you tell us what you want, and we're most likely going to be able to make it happen. There you have it. Yep. First episodes of No Tomatoes in the books.
Oh, yeah.
State tests, baseball, softball, fun times.